Welcome to the Wellness Growth Show, where successful wellness entrepreneurs share their journey, strategies, and insights for building impactful businesses. I'm your host, Scott Schumann, and each week we bring you conversations with industry leaders, transforming their communities through innovative approaches to health and wellness. Today, we're sitting down with Laura Tekuti, founder of the Shape Personal Training in Australia, who will share her experience. Welcome.
Good morning, Scott.
Morning. Nice to have you, Laura. Laura, tell me, what inspired you to start Shape Personal Training?
So what got me inspired was my own experience as a client through personal training. So when I turned 40, I decided to find a personal trainer. At that time, I was very heavy and very overweight, and I didn't really recognize that personal trainers were out there for overweight people. I kind of thought it was for people to be coached from being very good to being great. But anyway, I signed up for a personal trainer. And over the course of 17 months, I lost 50 kilos of weight. So I had a big weight loss journey through my experience. And then I was really enjoying it. So I kind of was considering, how can I make this more, how can I get more out of this? So I went along and I did my qualifications. I became a qualified personal trainer. I did some work experience, but my goal was to run my own fitness business, which I then went on to do in 2019.
Okay. So were you exploring like franchise models, or like, how did you go about saying like, this is what I'm going to call it, this is what I'm going to name it, this is where I want to be, location?
So my experience with personal training came through a franchise organization, but I felt that there was a lot of things holding people back in that framework. So I really wanted to have a little bit more freedom to do as I chose. I do have a water business as well, so I'd had that water business going for 20 odd years. So it was time for a bit of a shake up, a bit of a move. We still have that business as well, but I knew I wanted to be on the business end, and I did want to keep in mind the potential to franchise and the potential to make it a great commercial enterprise. So yeah, we moved along with getting a professional logo and those sorts of things done, and I wanted to make it about an entity and about a company and about recognizing a brand, so that it wasn't necessarily just attached to my name. Whereas many personal trainers, they set off on their own ventures, but it's very much about one person, one individual. This was more about Shape as an organization and how we can help a whole community.
So tell me about how did you first kind of, going through your journey of like, think about what you wanted to offer, and like, what did you first start? Like, what was your core offer when you first opened?
So it was always the personal training and the group classes, but it's a lot more than that. There's a community spirit. I had a lot of friends through my training and my experience, built some great friendships that are, still to this day. We often catch up and go out. When it doesn't feel like a chore and you really want to turn up, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, instead of like dreading or something going to the gym, like, oh, I gotta go do this. So but that's like when I guess your mindset of the way you think about taking care of yourself and why it's important.
Yeah, so it was more for me, it was more about going to hang out with some friends and well, we'd do a workout while we were there, and being able to facilitate that environment for other people to come along to, and for myself to enjoy too. I still to this day jump in most classes every morning with the clients.
I think it's like the feeling too, right, that you get from working out. And I mean, obviously there's the social aspect, but just like after you've completed the workout, and just a good way to start off your day, I think, would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not just the physical, it's the emotional boost you get from it. It's mental health as well. It just makes you that social outlet as well. Just makes you feel great. There's no time that you regret doing a workout. You might go into it feeling a little bit of hesitation, but by the time you finish it, you feel great and you never regret having shown up.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Maybe that initial feeling if you're having some issues getting out of bed and going there. And then once you've completed, you're like, yes, I did it. I got through it.
Yeah. And
What would you
you get through
say?
your day better too, because your mind and your clarity is there, and yeah, it's just easier to cruise through your day.
Yeah, yeah. I find there's like if I even do something as little as like I shouldn't say little, but like getting on like the TRX and doing somewhat of a routine. It's like if you can't find time and you're like struggling, and if you could just go and do some of that activity or just some push-ups or whatever, just to kind of wake you up, it's like my day is so much better. So I can agree on that. What do you think? So looking back on your first year of business, like what were some maybe big surprises that you had?
The biggest surprise was COVID. So we did
Yeah.
actually open 30th of September 2019, and of course by February in Sydney we were forced to close. So we did all of this building of a business and building of a brand, and recruiting clients, recruiting trainers, and getting the business all set. And then we had the big shutdown. So we, still full of energy and at the start of the whole thing. So I tried to pivot to online, but it wasn't really what people were looking for that came to us.
They wanted to get out, right?
Yeah.
Wanted to
So
get out of the
yeah,
house.
we ended up dragging a lot of the equipment outside and just training in the
Did you?
car park. The car park was quite empty because the offices were all shut as well.
Okay.
But there was a fear around from people that didn't want to attend. There were some that really understood the importance of it for their mental health during that time. There were a lot that didn't attend, but we just had to hold on and keep going.
How long were you guys closed for?
The initial shutdown was a little over 3 months. And then we had a second shutdown that was well over 3 months as well. The rent continued. The revenue didn't. So
Right.
it was quite a difficult time in that sense. But yeah, we had one of our clients who had a home with a tennis court, and you could train people at home. So he said, come use my house, use my home. And we were able to still provide the service for those people that really needed it, that wanted to get out, that needed that physical movement, that social interaction from a distance, but
Or distance with the
still
mask.
enjoyed it. So we had a big shift in that first year that we had to accommodate, but we made it through. And I think having made it through, it just gives you a sense of strength and ability more than you know.
And just like there's a demand and people really need you, kind of a bit validated like this, the business and the structure and the need for it. And
Absolutely. With personal training, because it is personal, you do understand some of these people's issues were quite deep-seated. And to shut your door and say, sorry, we can't help you, was heartbreaking. So we just had to find a way to still be able to help them.
yeah. Oh gosh, I'm so grateful that, well, hopefully that's behind us. And I would love to say like, hopefully that never happens again. Well, what do you think? So since then, and so, looking forward and as you progress and you've grown, like what are some maybe significant achievements that you've experienced?
So we grew at quite a moderate rate. I wouldn't say too rapid. Yeah, our clients really love our service. We added on more classes, we added on more trainers, and then we had a situation where our landlords asked us to move to a different space, which is actually better for us. It's street front and had more exposure. So they actually took care of all the fit out and replicated what we had. So then we had a move that came about at the end of 2021 it was. So yeah, that was quite a significant shift for us, and being street front and having that exposure just led to more and more people knowing about us and coming in and
to find
with us.
you.
Yeah.
And is it a bigger space or?
It is a bigger space. We were in 300 squares, and then we moved to a space that was 350 squares. And we had our bathroom facilities within our own walls, whereas before they were kind of external, but right next to us. And yeah, and then after about a year, there was a neighbouring space that was clearing out. And so we actually I did a lot of research into reformer Pilates and could see the rise of popularity in that space and thought it was a great addition for us to take on the extra 100 square meters and get 12 reformer beds in. And they made a hole through the wall for a connecting door and interconnect space for us. And plus, it has its own external entrance as well. And yeah, we added on a reformer Pilates studio in October 22.
2022. Wow. And I know you talked a little bit earlier about group classes and stuff. How do you see group classes impacting your business?
Group classes, while our personal training clients, they kind of, it's a complimentary service to them.
Okay.
It actually complements their results in terms of it's an offering that, you know, once they get involved in it, they become more, the community spirit grows because they're in there with other people that are like-minded and all on the same, you know, the same journey, each with their own individual goals, but supporting one another, having a laugh sometimes, and just enjoying fitness in that group environment. And so the group classes are absolutely an essential part of what we do. We do offer memberships with group class only memberships, but yeah, a vast majority of our users are personal training clients that jump into the classes.
How do you go about fostering like sense of community within your gym?
It kind of develops naturally somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
People form friendships, and like I still have the friendships that I gained along the way. You know, you build connections with people, and then it becomes a natural thing that the community spirit builds around that. We offer the classes, we offer challenges, we offer things where there's a little bit of a competitive nature. You know, we do try and we interact a lot with our clients. We're always very friendly and we do different events at times out in public, join other events or create our own events. We do you know, end of year parties and little social events during the year as well, where there's a catch up on offer and we get a lot of people attending those.
That sounds fun. Like, do you see that as part of the client retention and just trying to get people, like, I hear a lot where people will sign up for a membership and then they go and then they just kind of fall off. But do you think that some of these things that you've mentioned helps sort of bring them back?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have clients that have been with us for the whole time, so over 5 years, and they continue doing sessions with a personal trainer. It's not like they feel like they've learned everything and they go off on their merry way. They still keep coming because they find it's part of their lifestyle now. It's part of their social outlet. It's part of their, you know, when they're not feeling it, some days they'll come in and they might work a lighter load or whatever it might be. They're not pushed to their limits and expected to do PBs every time they walk through the door.
Yeah.
They know they're looked after. They know they're safe. And yeah, they just love coming in. I like just being in a session where it's directed. So someone kind of directs me on what to do. I'm a personal trainer myself. I've got all the qualifications. I can do my own session.
Yeah.
But I'm not distracted when I'm with a trainer. I will do, you know, what they say. If they see that I'm not challenged enough, they'll give me a little bit extra. Or if they see I'm fatiguing, they'll, you know, do less reps or less weight or whatever it might be. But you feel like you're really taken care of and you don't have to fear an environment where you're just walking into aimlessly or anything like that.
You're just walking around, looking like, what do I do next? You've got
or get distracted by your phone or something in between when you're resting between sets. You're there with a direct reason and you're given directions and instructions all the way.
What do you think? Because you mentioned that you've had people with you since the beginning, which, I mean, kudos. That's amazing. What do you think? I mean, I know you touched a bit on just the interaction stuff, but what do you think like motivates people, or what do you guys do to try to motivate them over the long term and you know, not just a quick fix or coming for a couple months, but it's a lifestyle, right? Like, how do you get people to understand that, you know, this is more of a lifestyle where they just build up to keep coming back? And
I think they come to understand the benefits as they've been there long term.
Yeah.
They kind of know if they give it up, that the likelihood of them turning up to an empty gym on their own is not going to happen. So they come to a space where they enjoy it and they love it. And why wouldn't you come back? Because, you're getting so much more from it than the physical benefits. The health benefits are enormous. And they might not all be the perfect physique or the perfect fitness level, but they keep coming back and they are 100 times better off than the person sitting on the couch or not moving at all.
Right. Well, and I'm sure too, I would imagine that, they're seeing improvement within themselves. I mean, it'd be kind of hard not to, unless you go to the gym and you're on the phone the whole time. But, but if you're actually putting in the effort, you've got to see the results and just, you kind of mentioned the way you feel too afterwards, how you start your day. What's been your most successful strategy for attracting new clients?
Word of mouth and referral, I would have to say, is the most, the best form of attracting new leads. Yeah, our clients rave about us. So we often have the clients with their sisters or with their partners or with their friends coming along to the gym, and
do you do
that
like
helps with the retention too, I guess, too, because they're there for their social aspect as well.
Yeah. It's like, well, why don't you come along? Do you do any offers where it's like bring your friend kind of thing, where it's like bring your a free pass for your friend to just come check it out?
Yeah, we do from time to time. We do have a referral campaign where the person referring a new client will get some free sessions for the referral.
As incentive.
The new client will get whatever sign-up offer that we have on at that time as well. Yeah, so there are incentives for that. But I think the biggest incentive is having your friend come along and train with you. People
because
enjoy that.
It's like you have that extra motivator too, right? So you've got somebody looking out for you and vice versa. Okay. What do you think, what are some maybe systems or processes that you've either tested or implemented? Maybe you've thrown them out, it didn't work so well, or something that even you found it's just really game changing, for the business.
In terms of lead gen or in terms of just overall operations?
Yeah, maybe just over operations.
Yeah, so we've been through a couple of different software providers.
Okay.
So we've kind of learned along the way what we find works best for our business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very tailored and individualized. And as a smaller entity, or as we were growing, the one that we're using now is more unaffordable to us. Whereas now the benefits of the system and the technical improvements that come out regularly outweigh the cost.
Okay.
So we're quite happy with what we're using at the moment. So that was a bit of a learning curve. Yeah, learning, when you're running a business, you need to wear many hats. So it's constantly learning what's new, what's changing, especially in marketing, social media, all the different channels and avenues, and trying to have your head around all of that is not easy.
Can't imagine. I know in general, there's lots of hats and getting pulled in different directions and whatnot. What would you say is maybe one of your biggest challenges that you've seen in just running the business day to day?
Yeah, it is kind of wearing all those hats in one sense. Yeah, sometimes it's in this industry, trainer retention is often not. There's not a lot of longevity in the trainer retention, so that can be a challenge. And of course, your clients get to know that trainer quite well. So when they leave, the client kind of is at a crossroads of whether they're going to continue or not. But because we build all of these other things into the service, we mostly find they will stay. But yeah, trainers, because of the early starts and the late evenings, that I think there's a limit in the longevity of some trainers that causes a little bit of disruption or can be hard to manage.
Do you find like it's kind of maybe part of their journey of where they're at and like where they're going? Like, do these people usually, and maybe you don't know this, but I don't know if you do like exit interviews, but kind of like where are they going next? So like, are they continuing in the personal training, or are they doing it as part of like school, or, getting through school and then maybe advancing to something else? Just kind of curious of like,
sometimes, yeah, it will be a considerable life change that's occurring in their own personal lives, that they decide that they're going to pursue a different career path perhaps, or find something with different hours, or they're going to go out and try and start on their own is a common one. Like almost all the trainers that I know have some aspiration to run their own business.
Okay.
But I think when they find out all the ins and outs of what's required, not all of them are quite capable of that.
Yeah, there's a lot more going on than they see.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
coming in and checking in with the client. And when you're running a business, there's 50 other things you got to do before you see the client.
Yeah, and often they're great personal trainers, but as running a business goes, that will only get you so far.
It's a different skill set, right? Managing the business, managing people, it's a totally different ballgame. Has that kind of, because the transition and maybe they don't stay as long, is that, I don't want to say forcing, but like, is that making you kind of change or adapt the model, or are you still on path to just keep the model as it is and just hopefully, people stay longer? I mean, we all wish that people are just happy with what they're doing and they'll stay with us longer, but the reality is they don't. So does that make you kind of look at changing the model at all, or even have you had to change them?
It's not changing the model so much as getting good at hiring. We look for trainers that have experience because our service is more of a premium than most. So we want our clients to have trainers that have a lot of experience under their belt.
Got it.
We don't very often look to training new trainers. And that's also because of my background, because I haven't been a trainer all my life. So I'm not.
Yeah.
Every trainer that we have has more experience than I do.
Okay.
And so a lot of them have been doing it for some time, and therefore they're quite settled in where they're at, and they actually appreciate the flexibility of what we offer.
Okay. Do you see any like changes or adapting to like clients' needs or expectations? Like, are you having to, because I know that you rolled out in the last couple of years your Pilates, and is there anything else that you're seeing that you're changing?
Yeah, in terms of adapting to their needs, absolutely. There's always, because it is personal training, it's personalized. And so everyone has their own thing going on. And so we do need to, it's not a one size fits all. We never write a program and it's the same program for everyone.
Okay.
It absolutely depends on their goals and what they're aiming to achieve. In saying that, we do kind of stay interested in trends like the reformer Pilates. I could see that was popping up everywhere at the time, and it's continued to grow. I did have a concern as we first started that there might be a bit of a flood in the market, which I have seen some of that, but in our area I think we're okay because we do well, and I'm not sure that someone else would want to open up next door because they can see that we've already got a good market share, I suppose. Yeah. So we'll, and the reformer Pilates does complement the strength training as well. So we do look out for those trends. We change up our classes from time to time, just depending on what people are wanting and looking for. We listen to our clients. And
do you like survey? Do you do like surveys that kind of ask what people are
We do surveys from time to time, yeah, and we try and get an understanding of what are the majority people like, because you certainly can't make a change for, you know,
One person or something, right?
one or two people that, you know, they prefer their classes at 3:00 in the morning. It's not going to happen. It's
Yeah, you might be by yourself.
Yeah. We do listen to feedback, and we do source feedback. But because I'm there a lot too, it just talking to people, just being in there. I mean, I'm in the classes. I have feedback. You know, sometimes, that day that music wasn't the greatest. We could work it. I'll offer those suggestions as we go along. If I'm not feeling it, the other clients won't be. So, but for the most part, it's
okay. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to give you one last question, but what advice would you give to someone either starting a wellness business or even maybe just, kind of struggling day to day? Any advice that you'd give them?
Yeah, look, business and in life and in wellness and all of those things, it's the small little changes that you can make that add up over time. And you've just got to be disciplined and stay consistent. Everything has its pros and cons, its ups and downs, its ebbs and flows. You've just got to manage that and understand that not every day is going to be a great day. You've just got to make the best decisions at the time to progress forward and keep moving forward, one step at a time. It's never going to be easy. Otherwise, everyone would do it.
Right.
It's sometimes you do just need to take that leap and learn for yourself, whether it works, whether it doesn't work. You've just got to I guess navigate the risks and decide if it's something that you're up for.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Laura, for sharing your valuable insights today and experiences with us. Tell people how can they connect with you, whether it be the website or an email or social media.
Yeah, we all our Facebook and our Instagram channels are ShapePTAU, AU being Australia. Emails is admin@shapept.com.au. Website is shapept.com.au. So there's plenty of ways to reach out and get in contact with us. We're located in North Strathfield, so if there is anyone local, they'd be keen to come down and have a look. Just get in touch with us and we can book a little tour and show you around and have a chat as well.
Great. Thank you all for joining us on the Wellness Growth Show. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow the Wellness Growth Show on Spotify and share it with other wellness professionals in your network. Until next time, keep growing and transforming lives through wellness.